Hello everyone, welcome back to some Elden Ring invasions. And I just want to remind you that I do believe in your ability to beat Draconic Tree Sentinel at low level, and you do not need an invader to pull this lever for you. Um, joking aside, we're doing some level 13 invasions. It's a base profit, and I've added some extra strength to use a lot of wide weapon variety of things that I like without having to two-hand. And now here in the Academy, you can see the Phantom's got Moog Spear and White Mask, so they are incredibly deadly. So I make the very smart tactical decision of turning around and backstabbing them out of this to then pass the assist over to my giant jar friend. And that is probably one of the best backstabs that I've gotten. I haven't gotten a ton of really great roll backstabs, but knowing that I can pull someone out of bloodboon ritual is just incredibly satisfying. And also timing this catch flame between wild strikes. GG guys, that was fun, and my goodness, that one was such a satisfying invasion. Now, here I've also got a very funny tactical thing happening. There are two gamers up here, and by looking around, I see that one of them is next to a wall and a ledge. So I pull out the good old hand ballista, and since I have 20 strength, I have, when I two-handed, I have full damage. They don't die because they just fall down inside, but it gives me an opportunity to fight the host one-on-one, which I do an incredibly poor job of. Um, Now, in this video, I'm focusing on just weapons that are a lot that I like, but are much more readily available in the early game, pretty much that you can just walk to, like the Ice Rhine Hatchet, the Claymore, and By Phantom. They is just so funny that there are some spots that are incredibly lethal, like on that particular side of the just on the doorway. However, if you fall down there, you're safe. Um, on the other side of the doorway, not so much. But then after the reset of falling down, I'm able to keep the momentum and use the Ice Rind Hatchet to take down the host. GG guys. Way to keep me on the back foot while you were trying to regroup. Um, and here is Stormfoot Catacombs, where I'm using a Sacred Blade Mace and Flamestrike Great EP. Now, heavy thrusting swords, um, I don't think they're as good as they were, especially when they could still do the true combo with the jumping light attack. However, Flame Strike has a lot of really good coverage, just kind of a PvP staple. What's funny is the host kind of gets in the way and saves his friend. However, thankfully I have lots of attacks to just to get him out of the way. Um, this one's just a really fun, intense fight. I still get the buff off somehow, but here I do get the roll backstab, which is not typical. But GG guys, that one was just a very fun, intense 2v1. Now, some other very nice things that you can walk to are the Flamberge and the Blood Flame Blade spell. Now you do need 12 Faith and 10 Arcane to use it, so it's usable on base profit, but you have to do some talisman swapping if you're using one of the other starter classes. Now these guys I rushed in because I wanted to try and fight with the knight. Now when you're hearing the weapons hit sounds, however they're not taking damage, that is a phantom hit, which means the hit's registering on my side, but they are in invincibility frames on their side. So it registers the noise, however it doesn't register any damage, which is unfortunate because this guy is light rolling with claws. Thankfully with my physic and talismans I have a huge amount of robustness increase. However, this guy does not. And not wearing clothes means he's very prone to bleeding out. So having the hyper armor and reach at the Flamberge plus the Blood Flame debuff makes this not so great connection versus someone light rolling to go much more in my favor and very quickly, because Blood Flame Blade doesn't really builds up so it can hit them when they're out of a roll. So this poor person is bleeding out like I would be against the one guy who was playing as Vare if I wasn't wearing a bunch of robustness talismans. Um, and I think what's really funny here is I just walk past the Phantom, and he went up and grabbed the chest and is in the middle of dropping down while I am going up the ladder. Because somehow he has gotten behind me. I'm not entirely sure how, but he has. Now, is Sacred Blade Mace very good? As in, for the next invasion, it can do a lot of damage, but someone who is good at spacing and has some hyper armor, one-handing it, is not necessarily the best thing. However, against someone startled and in close quarters, a light attack chain usually does the job. Yeah. Here, the Phantom, I don't know whether or not they were just within the normal summon range, but their equipment, because I think they're just using the standard, they're just using the standard Night stuff and Bloodhound Fang, which is all very reasonable stuff. But now, one of the downsides of fire is that in the rain it does get a damage nerf. I'm so sad that Sacred Blade didn't connect, because the mace is really good. Well, I guess in Dark Souls 2 it's really good because it gets counter damage. It also applies to critical hits, and the hyper armor would be better if I wasn't just wearing fashion armor and was wearing something that had more poise than not the bare minimum. Now in this guy, I'm also impressed because he's not just using the Ash of War randomly. He is very selectively using it, because I thought I could get I thought I might be able to like trick him to use it off of the side, but no, this guy knows what he's doing. He's got good spacing and does really good damage, because Bloodhound Fang is a good weapon. And they were very patient with the roll on Fire Serpent. Now here I end up getting into a little bit of a rough spot, because they're very good at spacing and just the high damage of the weapon, and like, they're probably familiar with someone running at them with a heavy thrusting sword. They get the roll catch. However, I managed to escape down here, and by knowing the level and having practiced my parkour, I'm able to gain a lot of space and make it to the host. So did I lose the 1v1? Yeah, I kind of ran away. However, sometimes you lose the battle to win the full invasion. Unfortunately, our connection is not very good, but I am at least able to secure enough damage through the surprise attack to cinch the victory. GG guys, that one was another really fun one. It's always nice when I have to put my platforming skills to the test. So I hope you guys are enjoying low-level invasions. The gamers I run into are pretty chill, and like this guy who is going to have me honor duel his host, which is, it's a choice, but hey, it's the experience from being on your own from the original Dark Souls trilogy. But yeah, there's a lot of activity because there are a lot of people starting the new games, and you can still use a lot of cool stuff, and it's creative to see what you can do with limited stats. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've been enjoying this, because this is honestly probably my favorite invasion bracket in Elden Ring. And I'm glad that I got the hand axe heavy attack. GG guys, and have an awesome day everyone. See ya.